Story 2. While hanging out at an abandoned school, me and my friends stumbled upon something. Back when I was in my early to mid-teens, around 2007 to 2008, me and a bunch of friends would regularly hang out outside of an abandoned school. A very small school with only 8 classrooms, a teacher's room, a cafeteria, 2 bathrooms, and 1 room we had no idea what it was since it was always locked, but I'll get back to that later. This school hadn't been able to keep up with the 80s modernization of our town and the large number of newcomers that followed with it. And as such, it quickly closed down in favor of new schools and buildings by the end of the 80s. Most of the place was boarded up completely, but you could enter through a window in one of the classrooms, where the board had been ripped down. Our routine was always the same. Whoever of us got off school first would go down to the building and go through the different rooms and make sure everything was empty and safe, as these buildings had earlier been known as a local spot for drug addicts and used needles and such were a common sight for us. So this one day, me and my friend were the first to get out of school, and as per usual, we take the walk to the building. But upon entering and stepping out of the classroom into the hallway, we immediately see a large man. I remember him as quite huge, but that might possibly be how he appeared to us as kids. And my friend lets out a huge scream. The man doesn't appear shocked or scared and doesn't seem to react to us, but he turns to look at us and asks, "Have you guys seen..." Insert friend's name here. We tell the guy that we haven't seen anyone and only just got there, to which he sighs and shrugs, and then pushes past us to leave the same way that we had just entered. Now our friend has an unusual name, so the chances that this guy was looking for another random guy who just happened to have the same name were pretty low, but none of us had ever seen this guy before, and I happen to know most of my friend's family pretty well. When we described what the guy looked like to our friend, he didn't seem to know who this guy could have been either, and for the next few months we were too scared to go back. When we did return about 3 to 4 months later, it was the middle of summer vacation, and we thought it would be fun to climb up on the roof of the building and sunbathe. Upon climbing it, we found the roof to be rather weak and close to caving in, but something made us take the risk and dare to venture out on the roof after all. A hole in the roof, which we figured would have to be directly above the room that we'd never seen. The hole in the roof was only about the size of a football, and one of my friends came up with the idea to lower her arm down into the hole and film the room using her phone, so that way we could see what the room looked like. She puts her arm down, and as she's filming, she suddenly lets out a blood-curdling scream and immediately retracts her arm, but her phone is no longer to be seen. She was certain that something had knocked it from her hand, and as we looked down through the hole, we could see her phone laying on the floor. We climbed down from the roof and entered the building, now intent on doing whatever it would take to get into that room, so our friend wouldn't have to return home without a phone and have to explain what happened. About 30 minutes later, we finally managed to make a hole in the door and put our hands inside. And when we try to use the door handle from the inside of the door now opens without any trouble. We step inside and we all stare in silence. To this day, I have no idea what this room was doing in the school, and I sincerely hope it has never been used for what it looked like it was intended for. The room is about 4 by 4 meters, and the floor and the walls are of solid concrete. In the left center of the room, from where we entered, there were 2 metal bowls sitting on the floor, and at the back of the room were 5 chains dangling from the wall, 4 with equal-sized cuffs and 1 that looked like it would fit around a neck. Needless to say, we swiftly picked up my friend's phone and immediately left the place. However, the room had us both scared but slightly intrigued, so after some talk back and forth that same night, we decided to go back and look at it again the following day. When we returned the next day, we found the door to be locked again, and someone had covered the hole we had made in the door with a large wooden board nailed to the door. Once again, we immediately left, and after that visit, we never returned. I have no idea what we stumbled upon on that day, but I'm certain my days hanging out at that place is what sparked my interest in abandoned places. Today, I'm an experienced member of an Urban X community, and I've had much more sinister experiences with places like this that I might share with y'all some other time. Since talking about Urban X, it has been a dream of mine to go back to that school and check if that room's still there, but unfortunately, the place no longer exists, and the area is now home to a thrift store.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I don't know what else it could be, because, like, as you were reading it, I was like, okay, it can't be that bad, can't be that bad. They described it, I was like, it's probably worse.
Yeah.
I thought maybe someone was just, like, living in there.
Mm-hmm. No, to have, like, chains and then bowls on the ground for like, and the fact that it was covered up the next time that they went, yeah, it shows that somebody else, was actively going there and.
Yeah. Yeah, well, because they said that like, there's a lot of people coming in and out of there. So when they were like, oh, yeah, this person was looking for my friend with a unique name, I was like, what if it's just, like, the guy that they buy weed from and they didn't recognize him and then your friend didn't want to say that because you were in school? But then the story kept going, and it's much scarier now.
Yeah, that's really, really spooky. And I want to know... I don't know. I wish there was more information because I'm like, could it be somebody that found that room and now they're like really protective of it?
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
It is wild that they went back though. I would have not gone back. I do not have a death wish like that. Absolutely not.
No, I would not be like, hey, let me go check in on this room. I probably, like even young, I probably would have called the cops, honestly.
I also would have called the cops and be like, hey, I found this weird thing.
Yeah, this
or
weird
I'm hearing
room.
rumors because I didn't break and enter, but I've heard some rumors. Anonymous tip.
And I'm leaving an anonymous tip. Don't star 67 my number, but
there's definitely some chains and
some food dishes
in
one of the rooms. I had multiple thoughts while I was reading this. They all progressed differently as we were reading the story because it obviously got worse. But when it started, the first thing I thought about was my school that I went to when I lived in Michigan. It was a school that was built in like the late 1940s or something, like old.
Yeah.
Very, very, very old school. The whole town was really old. It was like a population of like 500 people, like very small town. And the school, like the middle school and high school, were one hallway each. Okay. Literally, like...
That's insane.
Yeah, it was... Like, the back hallway was high school. The front hallway was 7th grade. Okay. So it was like 7th, 8th grade. But then there was like... it was kind of like a horseshoe, and there was like a gym at the front, and then they added on a gym in the back. Okay. And the gym in the back was, like, new, like, within the last 10 years. But the gym at the front had been there since the school opened. And so we had, like, an overnight sleep-in at the school for when I was in cheer and when I was in band. And it's old, so it's haunted, right? Mm-hmm. But they used to play, like, really horrible tricks on us as like kids. I was because I was in 7th grade. So, and again, it's a small school. So the 7th, 8th, and all the high school are all like hanging out all the time because it's one hallway. So the 9th graders and sophomores, the juniors and seniors like didn't really care, but the freshmen and sophomores like fucked with the 7th and 8th graders a lot. And they'd like, the story of the gym was in the girls' locker room. A girl like got assaulted while she was in the shower. She hit her head on the wall and passed away. Yeah. And it like happened in that shower room. So that was like the lore of the school and how it was like originally haunted, and then it expanded from there, obviously. But when we would do like our lock-ins where we stay in the school all night, people would go in and, like, write stuff on the mirrors and, like, fake blood and, like, leave messages in lockers for us to find. And it was just always really creepy. And when you would walk around at night, because, I mean,
it's what you do at a lock-in.
Yeah, you're teenagers. You're like, let's see how haunted this place is. So you walk around and, like, like I've never had a paranormal experience. Lied. Because I don't, like, think about this, like... as prominently, because you kind of question the actual, like...
validity?
Yeah, thank you. The validity of it, because I did have, like, all these girls also trying to, like, fuck with things, but there were... there were multiple times where, like, we were walking around and we would hear things like desk chairs, like, move, or, like doors kind of, like, lock into place, and we heard... one time, like, a girl's voice from the gym area. And we were like, that's weird. But, and you could definitely, like, feel it. Like, there was, like, a vibe in that school that you could just feel that something isn't good there. But, yeah, it was spooky being in that school, especially at lock-ins. Yeah.
I told my sister a little white lie that it may have started the rumor that her school was haunted. In my defense, I was... my mom would sign me up for a lot of babysitting gigs when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. And so one of them was to watch these kids during, like, a MOPS group or something. And they were running up and down the stair area, and they're all, like, 6 and under. So I was like, we really shouldn't be running on the stairs. I was like, hey, you guys need to stop. They're not listening. I was like, hey, you need to stop because I know this as an older kid who's had lock-ins at this school. This stairwell is actually haunted because a kid fell down when he was playing with his ball. And now it's haunted. And as an older kid who's done lock-ins, I know this to be true. Years later, I heard another kid say, like, this is haunted by a little boy who fell. And I was like, it sure is. Don't run on the stairs.
Yep. Be safe. That reminds
Hold the rail.
That reminds me of when I was in high school. I went to, like, a pretty wild high school, I guess. They just did some silly stuff. But silly stuff like throw, like, trash cans filled with firecrackers off of the second floor into the first floor seating area. Fun stuff like that.
School in the 80s got it.
Yeah, except it was, like, early 2010s. But
Yeah. Like
one of their senior pranks was they, like, covered a couple of the stairwells in baby oil. And one of the teachers went down and, like, broke his back.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I'm not laughing because of the teacher breaking his back, but I'm just
What
laughing.
did they think was going to happen?
That was the school, man. That was, like... It was a fun time.
The high school prank that happened my year, these girls there's a big deal about the teachers parking and student parking, but you couldn't park in teachers parking without getting a ticket. Mm-hmm. Huge deal. So they got horse shit and put it all over the teachers parking lot, which they took in stride. They're like, this is funny, we get it. But then they also took glue and put it in all the locks. So they legally got in trouble for that.
Like, all the locks for their car doors?
No, for, like, the school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That one, yeah.
That's a good clarifier.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense. The horse shit is pretty funny.
Did you have people taking, like, deer and elk pee that they would use from hunting and put it, like, on the other team's stands?
No, I lived in civilization.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I also went to high school in an 80s movie.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Story 3.
No, but it also made me think of, and this is unrelated, but there's a Faz map of a high school.
Oh, cool.
It's called the Brownstone High School.
Yeah.
And it's just like a massive high school, and it's scary. It is so scary, and it's hard to find any ghosts in there because there's like 90 rooms or something.
I bet it's huge.
Yeah, it's massive. There are 2 floors. But it's super spooky. But I'm just imagining when they were like, we're walking through this old decrepit high school, I'm imagining myself like walking through Brown.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where am I going? Okay, where would this room be? And if you guys are wondering, I would imagine that this room is like all the way on the first floor, all the way at the very end on the left, but like a couple rooms in from the side door. If you guys play Spaz, you know. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Anyway, Dan, that's crazy.
That's so crazy.
Wow, what the fuck? That's crazy. Okay, anyway, story 3.
You shouldn't be hanging out there. Me, a 30-year-old. You should not be hanging out there.
We used to go to a lot of abandoned places when I was younger. I went to an abandoned veterans hospital once.
Oh, I thought that was creepy.
It was... I don't think I've ever been, like, that scared in my life. And nothing really happened. Mm-hmm. But, like, I literally... I do not believe in God. Let me just say that. Mm-hmm. But I had, like, crosses and, like, Bible verses, like,
just in case,
written on me.
Yeah.
And, because I, like, there's a lot of, like, lore behind this hospital that is, like, it's pretty popular, like, where I was living at the time. And we brought a Ouija board, and we brought salt to make a salt circle. We brought little tea candles. We brought water, and we brought earth so we could, like, have, like, firewood. And we like started doing the Ouija board, and the problem is, and this is why I'm always like, I don't know if it was paranormal because I was with other people, so
Right.
I can't really tell you for sure. But we did a Ouija board and we were like getting answers back, but I was like,
Is someone who's pushing it?
yeah, I was with like 3 other people, so I'm like, one of you guys could be fucking with it. One of my friends that was with me was also as scared as I was.
Okay.
So
probably not them.
Probably not them. But the other 2 people that I were with, like, I don't think, I feel like one of them definitely could have.
Yeah.
But the only reason that we left was because we heard somebody start yelling in the hospital. And, like, a lot of people go there because it's abandoned. So,
Either which way.
I don't know. Well, yeah.
Alive or dead. I don't want to figure out.
No, and that's
who's
why
yelling.
we left, too. Because
Yeah.
we were like, I didn't think it was a ghost. Like, I literally was like, oh my God, a person is here. And we immediately were like, oh my God, are the cops here? So we ran downstairs. And there were still like gurneys inside and like file cabinets and like different like hospital equipment.
Wild.
It was spooky. It was really, really spooky. There's also like a little hotel down the road that people would go to a lot. I didn't like going because how popular it was. Like there were cops all over it all the time.
Gotcha.
So I had been around there, but I never went inside.
Yeah.
So
We used to go to UC Channel Islands because before it was a university, it was a mental institution.
it's fun.
And they just, there's still bars on some of the windows for sure. So we would like go walk around and be like, that spot's pretty creepy. Because I was also like around like American Horror Story Asylum. So you just like walk around and be like, hey, you go stand over there. That looks spooky.
Yeah.
That was about it though.
Yeah. There was a story, and I'm trying to remember if it was like a Reddit story or if it was like a book, or I don't remember what it was, but there was a college in what used to be an asylum, and this girl had like a haunted room, and people kept like, in the room.
That.
So I think it was a movie. Oh, I think it's Blackbeard's Daughter. Is that what it's called? Or Black Coats. It's Black Coats.
Okay.
I don't know why I remembered that like last minute. Google didn't even tell me. But yes, Black Coat's Daughter. We need to do an episode on like psych wards and psych ward stories.
Yeah.
Those are that kind of thing freaks me out.
It freaks me out too.
Yeah. It's like freaks me out the most because I think about how if they were more prominent in this day and age, like I would be in one. Because like they institutionalize anybody and everybody, you know? Like if you had any sort of inkling of something being wrong with you, they're like, off to the
institution.
Yeah, off you go to the loony bin.
I hate that.
Yeah.
This is not entirely related to what you just said, but I did match with a guy who gives ghost tours on Hinge.
Hell yeah.
I did forget to respond for a couple of days, so I need to be better about that.
Okay.
But
if you get the chance,
take us on a ghost tour.
let me know.
Yeah.
Because I would love to. I would love to.
Yeah.
I haven't been on a ghost tour since I went to Tombstone, Arizona.
Ooh, I bet that was a good one.
It was pretty good. We went to the Birdcage, which is like the oldest like brothel in the country or something.
Yeah.
And it's like
haunted.
it's very haunted. There are like thousands of deaths that happen there.
Yeah.
But it was like 2012. So I had a little digital camera, But I had my fucking camera. I carried that bitch around everywhere.
Absolutely.
And we went through the Birdhouse Theater, or Birdcage Theater. We went through it, and I was taking pictures in like every room, and there were orbs everywhere.
Ooh, wow.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm young, so I don't really understand, like, what orbs are. I'm like, oh, it's just dirt. And, like, the lady, like, looking at my pictures, she's like, no. those are orbs. And now that I'm, like, an adult, I, like, think about all the pictures that I've taken in old places. And I'm like, I've never seen anything like that.
That's wild.
Yeah.
There is that bar that we went to that had the carnival pop-up last year. I'm pretty sure that used to be a brothel.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to go to that again.
Yeah, we'll
That'll
take
be
some
so
pictures.
Fun. Yeah. That building that's off the highway, downtown, the like big round one. Apparently, the story behind that one is that like the ballroom in the basement, they like this girl, like that's where the story of the, like the dancing with the devil comes from. She danced with the devil in that ballroom like all night and like died.
That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up
Lore.
during daylight hours so I don't get scared in my dreams.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's wild.
Yeah, there's lots of. That's why I'm like, I want to take a ghost tour because there's already so much lore behind our town.
I just need to message that guy and be like, hey.
I don't want to date you, but
Like,
can we go on a ghost tour? Maybe?
yeah. That sounds sick. Thanks. We'll pay you.
Yeah, I don't
I'll
mind.
give you a beer.
If you enjoyed that little story, be sure to watch the full episode here.
And make sure you like, subscribe, and all that jazzy.
Jazzy? I see what you did there. Wait, what was that?